Last time on Dice Fall and Everyone Dies.
Absolutely not. By the name of my father, absolutely not.
Who is your
father's
father?
name is absolutely not.
My father's name is not absolutely not.
Even better.
In the name of his My father is Archduke Tizio Salisfer of House Salisfer of Cheliax. My mother is Archduchess Herminica Salisfer Lorong of Corvosa.
Are you guys related?
Oh, I think so.
No, I can't give you an answer either way because it answers a question I don't want answered right now. So,
A singular long tunnel. 5 foot high,
So boring.
5 foot wide.
It's only 5 feet high.
Oh,
Right,
God,
so
what a
you're
pain in the ass.
stooped for everyone who's above 5 feet tall.
Oh,
Oh
fuck.
no, which is everybody but
It
Daffy.
sucks to be you guys,
The
huh?
kobolds are like really happy right now. They don't
Wait, are the
understand.
kobolds coming with us?
You haven't told him not to. Welcome back to Dice Fall and Everyone Dies. I'm your GM Chris, and today let's talk about combat tactics. Now, more specifically, when should characters use their abilities? Now, at the core of every table's role-playing adventure, there is some game element where there's going to be some form of winners and losers. And depending on your game system or the genre of storytelling, you could win as a group or maybe lose as a specific person. Sometimes losing is as much a part of the game as getting the largest value of the dice. But no matter the outcome, players have to learn methods of the game, and often that comes down to learning how to manage resources effectively. In Pathfinder, there are many types of resources: gold, magic, actions, bullets. There's a lot more, and they come together to make a nested system of reliances. One of the first types of resources to master is actions. Every round of combat, each player has 3 very precious actions, as does every enemy combatant. And as the sides expend those actions for strikes and moves and activities like casting spells, the tide of battle can swing back and forth. Every round that combat goes on, actions tend to use greater and greater resources if used haphazardly. Here's an example. Your 3rd level wizard has 3 first level spells and 2 second level spells per day. Every round, they can spend 3 actions to cast those spells and move around the battlefield. If a combat lasts for 5 rounds, each and every round the wizard could cast a first or second level spell, and at the end of a combat, most of their magical resources will have been spent. Now, if this was used to save the party, it might have been worth it. But will using spells this way actually save the party if the next combat encounter lasts another 5 rounds? And what if the wizard hasn't had a chance to prepare any new spells? Generally, the answer is no. Another character will have to expend either their unique resources or maybe the whole party ends up dead. In the first combat, the wizard may have cast every spell to the maximum amount of damage, but now in the second combat, they only have their cantrips to aid the party. But you see, the secret actually is in those cantrips. Every class in Pathfinder has some sort of renewable resource that helps them keep them effective in combats. For fighters, it's their lethality with every strike. Monks keep strike lethality but also gain key abilities with their focus points. And wizards? Oh, they have those cantrips as well as their own focus spell. So at low levels and during long adventuring sessions, that trusty cantrip is how the wizard remains a threat to the enemy for a whole adventure. So let's go back to our first example. If the wizard had used 3 cantrips in the first combat, they would have saved 3 of the higher level spells for the second combat. The wizard may even have been able to save spells for the 4th or 5th combats beyond those cantrips. So you may be asking, well, wouldn't that mean the wizard was shortchanging their initial damage? In most cases, not actually. See, the wizard has a high chance of wasting spells when they're trying to compete for flashy kills, not when they're worried about putting out consistent damage. For instance, the wizard could use the cantrip Produce Flame. Now, this snazzy cantrip spell allows the wizard to make a spell attack roll, which is about on par with a fighter's first strike, at range or melee. And so, when the wizard hits with it, they deal a d4 in fire damage, and on a crit, they'll get to do double damage with persistent fire damage. So what this spell costs the wizard is no spell slots, but only 2 actions. And so they get to put out elemental fire damage with a potential crit effect. See, that's nowhere near like a power attack of a greatsword with 2d12 plus strength and damage. But you see, the wizard could do it at range, which makes it much more comparable to a crossbow that uses no bolts. Picking when to use that cantrip versus using something like Magic Missile is part of the challenge of playing a wizard. You see, wizards are the great examples, but healers take this idea of resource management even further. Divine and primal casters keep a party hale and hearty, but they too suffer from the overuse of spells. Unlike with wizards, there is not a consistent healing cantrip. The closest example is a paladin who, if they focus continuously, puts out a constant amount of healing every 10 minutes. And that's great for exploration or downtime, but in combat, you can't recharge your focus pool in time. So what does the savvy adventuring party do? The prepared party brings along a healer's kit and a backup medic. The medicine skill is open to every class, and with a trusty non-magical character, you can reduce the healing load needed between combats. So feats like Battle Medic help mitigate when an enemy targets your healer, and when used in conjunction with a champion or a cleric, a party can easily restore their hit points. So, what does something like this mean for our intrepid adventurers and their resource management? They have neither a cleric nor a champion, but they do have a bard and a very plucky wizard with Fey heritage. Between the two of them, Demos can provide emergency combat healing and supplement the party with medicine checks every hour. Taffy is the party's oh shit button. See, she can stabilize downed players with her cantrip Stabilize, and then use their Wand of Healing in combat. Their challenge is being able to switch between healing, damage, or buffs as combats call for it, and they have to manage those actions appropriately every single combat. If Damos buffs when he should have healed, then they may have a player lose consciousness and thus lose the party's precious actions in the round. Demos could heal too much instead and end up wasting his spells that the party may have needed for a future combat. Our party walks a fine line when they are managing their combat resources. Speaking of resources, I want to shout out our winner of the 1500 downloads giveaway. John the DM Glorindle has a snazzy set of dice on its way. Now, may they grace you with natural 20s whenever you need them the most. Yes. And since we've tallied up quite a few more downloads since then, we hope to be able to do more of these giveaways soon. Keep your ears posted. When you share, rate, and follow the podcast, you make a ton of progress towards making stuff like giveaways possible. Links are down in the podcast description below. We really appreciate your support, and we hope to be able to keep entertaining you for weeks to come. Now, when last we left off, our party found themselves confronted by a willowy stranger atop a basement stair. Let's peek back in and see what they are going to get up to. Welcome back, everyone, to another Dice Fall and Everyone Dies. I hope everyone has had an absolutely wonderful Groundhog Day, and whoever won in the Super Bowl was their favorite team or their favorite villain, one of the two. But I hope everyone is doing awesome.
Are there villains in the Super Bowl?
They're always the other side.
Depends on who you ask.
That's the wonderful quality of sports ball entertainment. So, Zach, how are you today?
I'm good.
And Damos, Jules, how are we feeling?
All good.
And how are we doing over on Stano's side?
I'm still very nervous about that tweet last night. Mostly because I've already cried at 2 TikToks today, so like...
I had to write it up special. It's going to be great.
Oh, fuck off.
And how's Taffy doing?
Little concerned.
Yeah, because this is the first time Taffy's saying it, isn't it? It's going to be great. It's fine. It's fine.
Wait, what is Taffy saying?
Well, it's... Sid tends to not look at our Twitter.
I tend to, not look at Twitter at all.
Wait, are any of you following our Twitter?
I am.
I don't use Twitter.
I'm not very good at Twitter, though.
That's not true. I do use
Dicefall_pod.
I'll follow.
I mainly use Twitter to see how stupid our politicians are being.
Oh,
That's mostly the only reason I have it.
See, and I tried my best to ignore them and find all of the wonderful tabletop podcasts from D&D, Pathfinder, and all of the other ones that are around because they're great to learn from and listen to. So, and they're generally pretty awesome folks.
I use it to get into arguments. Me too.
And that's why we don't retweet your stuff.
That's
okay.
terrible.
But if you want to, if you want to follow arguments, go ahead and follow the folks who are also following the podcast. It'll be great. Great. All right. So when last we left off, y'all had just traveled down the stone corridor leading out from the basement of Castle Alterain.
Oh yeah, we were all hunched over too.
Not me.
Taffy just marching down, kicking her heels up on the way, following Wimble as he scouts out a little bit.
Do you think she's ever had a backache in her life?
Had to carry you guys.
Oh, that's...
Pardon?
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 Well, I don't think that's true.
It's
No.
not.
Should we talk about traps? Let's talk about traps. Who wants to talk about traps?
Look, if we're honest, really, Damos's hands are holding up most of the party with those medicine checks at this point.
Oh, no.
Making sure you don't die.
Damos's soft, slightly damp hands.
It's only because you're sweaty. You're welcome.
He touched my sweaty hands. What the hell?
Have to deal with it.
Oh, and before we go too much further, do we know what Wimble looks like today?
I was looking. Give me a second. Damn it.
So y'all are exiting from the tunnel. Y'all find that it opened up into the space of what appears to be a storage room lined with jars and jars of pickled goods, primarily featuring pickled pig's ears. But you see everything from pickled beets to pickled cucumbers to even pickled eggs and the like.
Taffy stole one, didn't she?
She did take one of the jars. Which, do you remember which pickled item you took?
Pickles.
Oh, the regular pickles. And you were going to share those with the goblins, right? Oh, no, you weren't going to share them at all.
I wasn't going to share with anybody.
Sid, what the hell?
You can fight her. Don't care.
You guys don't even know why I took them.
Alec does. I remember he called you out.
Yes.
And I left gold.
Yes, and there's a couple... how many gold pieces did you drop there?
Hopefully just one.
I'll say like 3.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Those are some nice pickles. Some artisanal pickling.
She's very willing
Can
to
I
pay
just
for
say
them.
that Wimble looks like Robert Redford today?
Excellent.
Young Robert Redford or old Robert Redford?
Old. Like, they're always going to be older guys.
Was he going to look like Harrison Ford?
Soon.
Mm-hmm.
The only time that he's not going to look like an older guy is the time that he's Ryan Reynolds.
And then he will never change?
And then he will never change his final evolution.
Is he Benjamin Buttoning?
Yeah, well, sort of, yeah.
So, y'all finally begin being able to stretch your backs out, spread your shoulders a little bit. Steno's hair kind of whips side to side, being out from her bun.
It's in a braid. She's
Oh.
still proper. She isn't offensive. None of the other nobles in the group should be concerned yet.
Offensive.
Are buns offensive in Cheliax?
No.
Sort of
No.
a segue.
Hair
So,
down
like,
is offensive.
in the weird time frame that Galerion's in, Steno's hair would need to be up because that's how a lady keeps her hair, especially since y'all know now that she's the child of an archduke and an archduchess. So the bun is proper. Now it's braided. It's a little bit scandalous, but it's not offensive. But yes, having her hair just loose and flowing in the breeze would be
It means she would be about getting ready to get down and dirty. That would
Yeah, a
be the
little bit.
equivalent of it.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like she could probably handle herself if somebody said anything.
It's
So
more about
is she-
appearance than anything.
Okay.
She doesn't actually care. She can definitely take on anybody who comes at her, but there's just certain things you don't do. Like, she could also handle it if she went running naked through a big castle. Anybody comes at her, she could probably take them on, but she's not gonna do it.
Taffy's been running around with her hair down this whole friggin' time.
you are a gnome.
I must be so scandalous.
Gnomes are just naturally sexy. So,
So you're also from Absalom, so you're more oh god, what's the word?
liberated.
Free-spirited.
No, it's it's the word. You're more metropolitan.
I see.
Stato's from Agorian. Agorian's a little bit more conservative.
I see.
very conservative compared to Absalom.
Yeah, didn't Absalom just outlaw slavery?
They
Yup.
did outlaw slavery just recently, and the slave markets are not very happy about that.
It's a waste of good labor.
Taffy would argue otherwise.
And that's the reason why Absalom outlawed slavery. The abolitionists won the argument in Absalom. But you do find yourselves in this basement. And when we left off the session, someone had just opened the door, and you find a woman who is in a relatively neat but slightly stained garment that appears to have been freshly made. But she looks down and she is absolutely aghast that y'all are here. What are y'all doing here at closing time?
How fast did she open the door? Did she like rip it open? Like,
No, she probably wearily opened it while she's going for cleaning supplies.
If I recall, I think it startled Stano. So, I mean, like...
It's one of those, like, if you've ever been in a food service situation and you open up, like, the cooler door and it's, like, the end of your day and you just, like, slam the sucker open because you're ready just to keep going on towards the end of the night, just like that. And then all of a sudden, instead of seeing jars upon jars of pickles, you see 5 people standing in the room who look
4 people in
obviously
a gnome.
not drunk.
She's a short people!
Or hiding behind, I don't know, a rack.
Kazlan's gonna say, Jesus, Desna! And he's gonna accidentally, like, elbow an entire, like, row of pickles, and they're just, like, on the ground now. He's like, fuck! Don't scare me like that!
Let's go ahead and see how many jars of pickles you just
Oh,
knocked out.
no!
Alright, we're going to roll a d12 for this because this is a stacked setup. So, as he bumps the side, and then just 6 jars of pickles,
Oh,
some
no.
pickled ears, cucumbers, they shatter on the floor. Glass is everywhere, and there's just the rolls, and now the smell of vinegar rises up in the room.
Nice work, Brad.
What are you doing? What are you doing down here?
There was a tunnel! It came from the Citadel!
What? There's no...
There's a tunnel! Stano's going to gesture at the large tunnel.
She pauses, just trying to encapsulate the idea, because you can obviously read she had no idea that there was a tunnel there from where y'all came up, because there was essentially a hidden door that allowed y'all access to it.
Taffy's gonna cast mending on the jars.
Okay, so, like, everything's still on the floor, though.
Yeah, just the jars. Good glass is hard to find.
That's it. Y'all stay right here, and no, if I leave y'all in here, y'all are just basically fools in a glass shop. Fuck.
How dare you?
Well, at least one of you are.
Yes, of course he is.
It's me.
Look at him.
I'm the bull.
You know you're going to have to pay for those.
We'll take care of it.
We can cover it.
We would like to
my
leave,
God.
please.
Not before you talk to Roxie. She at least needs to know that,
Well, then go get her.
yes,
Can we leave the basement though? Cause it smells of vinegar and my dress is already freaking ruined.
I'll go get Roxie. So
I'm gonna follow her upstairs.
Me too.
So as y'all begin following her up, you see that this is a fairly small, almost seedy-like tavern spot.
Ooh, I like the vibe.
As you begin coming up, finally getting above ground for the first time in 48 hours, y'all realize that y'all are, as you look outside and you see the windows, that it is nighttime, likely just past midnight, maybe 1:30 in the morning at this point. The tavern itself looks like it just has finished closing up. People, a small staff of 3 or 4 women, all of them in what appear to be relatively fresh, lightly dirtied uniforms at this point. They definitely look like they just received some fresh setup, but it's a fairly stark contrast to the rest of the bar, as though it was something that was just upgraded just recently versus what you see are mostly broken chairs and stools having been recently mended. And the young woman goes over and fetches a slightly older female. She's human, red hair. She's got a few lines on her face. It looks like at one point she was probably a little rosy cheeked and maybe a little pudgy, but you can tell that there's been some fair thinning to the skin, as though they had kind of been plump at one time, but maybe have not been eating the best in a while. But she walks over with a set of authority. Now, I thought we told every single one of you to be getting on out at this point. What are you doing in my storeroom?
We came in from the Citadel. Why does the Citadel have a tunnel that leads from it to your storeroom?
Citadel? What do you mean you're coming here from?
Citadel all-terrain.
She gets silent for a moment.
Now, we did not mean to intrude, but we only took the tunnel because it was our only way out.
Well, if y'all are just passing through, then maybe you can just get on out down the road. We don't want no trouble down in here. We've got plenty of our own troubles going on here now. Gloria?
Well,
What was that crashing I heard down there a few moments ago? Like, one of them knocked over some pickle jars. You knocked over some of my pickle jars? What are you doing on that for? Do you know exactly how much them cost? Those are easily a silver a jar. How much
Jars
they break down
are
there?
in
We
one
fixed the
piece.
jars.
Stato's gonna lean over and give her 2 gold.
Well, that more than rightly covers it now.
I fixed the jars!
Yes, but it's still the pickles, Taffy.
I already left 3 downstairs.
Gloria, you go fetch those 3 coins downstairs and we'll see exactly what they are. Gloria runs off, quickly comes back up. It's 3 gold, Miss Roxie. Ah, absolutely wonderful. It's always great to see someone who understands the value of quality artisanal fare.
You guys are really
Now-
selling these pickles. Now
now
I really
why-
want some.
Now, why is it that you have a tunnel leading from Citadel all-terrain into your storeroom, Miss Denn?
Now that is a mighty fine story, but I don't know if this is quite necessarily the time for that. We are a working establishment here and, well, quite frankly, we don't deal in secrets, we deal in pickles and ale.
Well, that's very interesting, considering that you have a secret tunnel in your storeroom.
Secret tunnel.
Like I said, I deal in pickles and ale. If you wish to deal in secrets, we have to talk a different trade. Now, Gloria, you get the other girls and go finish up while we go have a conversation in the manager's room. Would you politely follow me over this way?
Of course. Stano's gonna follow her. Stano's also going to enjoy stretching out to her full height because she was very cramped in that fucking tunnel.
Taffy's gonna be eyeing the door, considering making a mad dash for it.
So as y'all...
Taffy, have one of the pickles from your jar and sit.
Taffy does like the most obnoxious thing ever. She sits down in the middle of the floor, cracks open the jar of pickles, and just starts eating. Like, right there. And she shares with Wimble. And sulks. She just wants to go get cleaned up. She just wants out of this damn dress. She is pouting.
So one of the girls comes over. Honey, you look terrible. Do you need some help?
Wow, way to rub it in. She scoots under one of the tables and just sulks under there.
Honey, we have a fresh dress if you need one. In fact, we just got in some fresh uniforms. We had Mr. Winthrop make sure that there was one done perfectly. If you want, we can go ahead and spare it for you.
No.
Are you sure? I'm sure it'll fit just fine. He's great at doing all sorts of alterations. He didn't know if we'd have one of our more diminutive girls in today, so he made sure there was one for everyone.
Am I not understanding what these kind of dresses are?
So the type of dress that they have is modestly revealing. It's a little bit low cut, a bit of a U-shirt.
So we're talking like Swedish barmaids, kind of?
Very close to Swedish barmaids. The idea is that everything
Taffy's
is designed
trying
to draw the eye but never reveal anything.
really, really, really hard not to be offended.
Taffy, I think they're being nice.
I'm gonna eat my pickles now.
Would you like to go back to the Wizard's Grace?
Yes. Let's do this. She's chomping on a big old pickle and puts the cap back on, shoves it in her bag, grabs Luna's leash, beckons Wimble to her shoulder, and just with the most world-weary expression follows Stano and everybody else into the office.
And what's Caslin up to?
I think he's probably just kind of following along.
Yeah.
Now, Demos, you do notice that a couple of the girls give you a appreciative glance up and down.
Actually, I take that back. I'll take that back. He is trying to see if there's anybody familiar to him in this bar. Because he has underworld lore, and I have not yet to use it yet. And I want to use it.
What kind of person is he looking for, Zach?
The
Oh,
DM
you
knows.
Go ahead
Zach,
and
are
give
you,
me a quick underworld lore check.
Zach, are you keeping secrets from us?
Holy shit, snacks!
Let's
Is that
not
a
get
nat-
ahead of ourselves.
Is that a nat 18?
No, it's a 15.
Oh.
21.
I mean, that's not a bad roll.
So there's a couple things you notice. Not so much that there's direct connections to the underworld here, but you recognize the side effects of the underworld here. There's a few things you notice about the girls. One is that most of these girls either look like they've been in some sort of service before, or they have been treated very similar to those who have been. You can recognize the bags under the eyes. You recognize a little bit of the hollowing of the cheekbones that are there. More than likely, the girls who are operating this establishment have either been around similar sectors, have gone through situations that you would attribute to underworld style activity, whether it is some form of narcotics trade or abusive relationships, something. You sense that there's a lot of shared experience that's there. You can't quite pinpoint it exactly. You look around to see if there's any telltale signs, if there's any of the little symbols that would typically set up. Because when you look at the location could easily be one of those locations. Not even counting that there's literally a tunnel that goes to a castle underneath, right?
Which is literally the underworld.
Exactly. So you're looking for these signs that are there. And it's almost a bit odd that they're not there, considering that there's essentially a one-directional underground network. You believe that's probably because it connects to a former Hell Knight citadel. So more than likely, this original location could have been, but because it was associated with one of the most lawful types of setups, is likely the only reason it's not. You would be expecting it normally that's there. But that said, most bars tend to not have a manager room like that, so you're a little curious where Stano and Taffy are walking off to.
Okay.
But you also notice that the girls give you a little bit of an eye, too. Yeah.
Awkward.
Is Alec also following us?
Alec is not quite dazed and confused. He's looking around. He's a bit glad that the broken jars and the pilfered goods are no longer pilfered. And so he looks back and forth. I will guard the front. And one of the girls walks over, kind of takes him by the arm. Come over here and sit, honey. We'll go ahead and open up the bar one more time for you. It's like, I don't think that'll be necessary. And she just drags him over to the bar, kind of sits him down. What do you have? Oh, I don't know. It's been so long.
Don't get too friendly, Alec.
Demos, if you'd like to go, keep him company.
I think I will.
Okay.
What'll you be having, Sir Demos? You've earned a drink at this point. You've been keeping us alive so far.
Probably anything at this point. That was a hell of a trek, wasn't it?
You know, we just got in a fine honeyed mead if you want one of those.
Yes.
Honey mead is a bit sweet for my taste. Do you have something a little stronger?
Oh, that's why he doesn't like me.
You can't hear that from me.
I know. Pickle.
Maybe a, how about some whiskey? Neat. Honey, I don't know if that's quite the way we want to serve it. You want it over, do you just straight? Yes, straight will be fine. In fact, that'll be perfect for my nerves at this point. And so Demos and Alec are chilling at the bar. Demos gets his honey mead. This late in the evening, it's definitely not been in its proper chilled state anymore, but it's far more serviceable than the water or vodka that Taffy would be able to offer you at this point.
Yeah, it's...
Taffy notices that Wimble starts sniffing the air.
All right, you can go.
And he zips off immediately over towards Alec, and he starts trying to fight for Alec's whiskey.
You might advise the girls that...
Get him a whiskey or a vodka.
Can I...
Will do.
Can I create a diversion so they will stop paying attention to me. So I would like, Kazlan would like to kind of poke around unnoticed, see if he can get any information that they may not be willing to give him.
How do you want to go about the information gathering?
Probably just a... Would a thievery work? Because I'm trying to...
Are you trying to like observe, or you want to engage in conversation, or
investigate?
I'm looking for like documents, so items that may show us something odd, or...
So we'll do that as a combination of stealth and perception.
Okay.
So go ahead and give me a stealth.
23.
And then give me a perception.
12.
The bright side is that between Demos and Alec occupying the bar, they have gathered the attention of everyone else except for Roxie. And so it is pretty easy to kind of check out and see the layout of what's happening in this establishment. It's a fairly simple establishment design. So you have a larger room where the bar, the stools, and the tables are set up. You can definitely tell that it's a bit of a rough and tumble spot. You can tell where they've been cleaning up different bits of glass. It appears that there may have been a bit of a tumble or tussle at some point this evening. You can see where in one of the storage rooms that's off down a hall that leads off from the main room, you found, just kind of like peeking in the door a little bit, making sure it was quiet, that there's already 2 broken chairs and the leftovers of a broken table waiting to be mended in there. You check one of the other rooms, you see that there's a small little dressing room set up for the girls, and then you don't want to go too far back because you know that one side is the storage room at the very end, and across from the storage room is the manager's office. So you kind of want to stay away from there because, you know, you can overhear a little bit of the conversation going on between Roxie, Stano, and Taffy at that point. But kind of moving around, nosing around, it looks like it is pretty much Breachill's dive bar.
Okay.
So, with Roxie, Stano, and Taffy. So, you're coming in from the tunnel, Information like that's going to have to come at a bit of a price.
What do you
What do you want to know about it? Then we'll be able to negotiate.
Miss Den, are you
Yes,
attempting to negotiate with a Chalish woman?
Well, in my mind, it don't tend to matter of whether you're Chalish or not. Someone is seeking a little bit of information that someone else is,
Well, of course. So I have plenty of gold, and I definitely have some information. I definitely have some other things in my, I definitely have other things at hand, but the most interesting thing is, how the hell is there a magic tunnel from here to Citadel All-Terrain?
If you can do me a little bit of a favor, I'll be able to provide you all of the information at my disposal, honey. Now, the biggest thing that I happen to need at this point is, well, as you can see, we had a bit of customers, but they tend to be a little rough around the edges here, and, well, they tend to not attract those of your honored stature, much less ones willing to pay for the quality of artisanal pickled pig's ears, because they are the best, and I can make any spice combination that'll suit even the most delicate of palates. Just ask Mr. Winthrop next time he wants to go ahead and share some of his spicy pickle recipe. Now, if you are willing to help me bring in a little bit more upscale clientele over the next day or so, I think I can provide you quite a bit of information if we come up with something together now, honey.
What was that? You good, Zach?
There's just multiple ways to negotiate.
I think that way is not really so much negotiation.
Yeah,
as
I think
manslaughter.
slitting somebody's throat.
The threat.
Uh-huh.
It's a threat.
Oh.
I see.
It's a threat. You
Wait.
threaten.
No, she doesn't need to be threatened.
Why? You want to go around doing this dumb junk when you could just like punch her a couple times?
The question
What kind
is,
of person do you think Stano is?
The question is, Roxie,
Impatient. That's
is,
what.
How much do you want for your information? We can't negotiate.
I think
if
what
we
she
don't know
wants
a
is
buying
customers.
price.
Miss Taffy, is it?
Yeah.
Now, I very much do appreciate the idea of one-time down payments. Now, there's a beauty and a shine to a single down payment that comes in, but if I have learned anything over the last couple of weeks as a relation to that, a one-time down payment only gets you so far when you have to worry about your own business establishment. You got to look at something that is a bit more perennial, so to speak. And being able to get in more customers is far more valuable than most types of coin you may be able to expect, unless we're talking into the realm of dozens of gold coins at this point.
How much gold do we have?
Oh, that's a good question. Hang on. So there's 44 gold, 19 silver, and 12 copper. And then the 30 gold banner.
I still think she's asking for not gold.
But how do we encourage people to act as clientele? I mean, we could make
Spread a
Alex
rumor
stay.
saying there's like some sort of weird deformed person who likes to drink here, and then all the people want to go see that weird deformed person.
Who is the weird deformed person that likes to drink here?
Taffy?
What?
Oh no! That's so rad.
Ow, that's harsh.
You could come on.
Taffy could do a magic show. I don't
Taffy walks right out.
know.
Now, do you remember Caslin's not a part of the conversation?
That's true.
That's true. But all this is happening outside of game anyway.
Now, this
I'm assuming
Caslin
Stano and
could
Taffy
be
are just
listening
kind
to
of.
this and thinking, was like, well, you could just have the deformed gnome take care of it.
I'm assuming at this point Stano and Taffy are like looking at each other, thinking about the party.
Mm-hmm.
Like just very quietly, Stano's gonna be. Demos does music.
I do have to say, an active and accomplished bard might be a quality bit of entertainment. What type of instrument does your bard use?
It's a lyre, right?
He's got a lyre, yeah.
He plays a lyre. I believe he's got a lute somewhere in his bags.
Now, I've heard of lutes before, but the last time I dealt with a lyre, I was dealing with a passandi. Now,
Lyre. It's like a small harp.
oh, the one, I'll just call it a tiny harp.
Because there is such a thing as a tiny harp, and it's not a lyre.
Well,
tiny
you make
harp
a
is-
lie to me, why don't you?
You guys
Is
doing
Demos
okay?
very good with this lyre, so to speak?
He's
Middling.
accomplished.
Middling. How dare you?
Actually, aside from, I guess Inspire Courage and stuff you'd have been playing,
He's probably constantly playing. He's annoying.
He is annoying.
Mm-hmm.
he's alright. He's pretty good.
We've listened to it for the last 36 hours, and we have not yet gone insane and killed him, so there's that.
That is an accomplishment for most of the bards in this area. Most of them you want to kill after about 3 minutes with.
Yes, I am aware of this.
But that still only keeps them in the building. We need to get them in the doors too, Hannes. Is there any way that we could work towards that?
I noticed some of your tables and chairs were slightly
Broken.
in a state. I could assist with fixing these things.
That would be mighty fine for being able to bring on clientele, but we still gotta bring them in the door. What about you, short stuff? You're looking pretty fine there. We could put you in one of our uniforms, put you out front. You do anything attractive with it?
I'll have you note at this point, underneath her dress, Taffy's all sorts of fucking scarred up now.
Do you say that out loud?
I have reasons to not show off my assets.
Oh, you don't have to worry about that, honey. We have a little bit of rough and tumble. If anything, they like a little bit of battle scar. Shows that you're a tough and rough and tumble woman.
I don't.
In fact, I got a few of mine from back in the day.
comfortable.
She shows up her skirt and you see this vicious scar up her leg.
Taffy,
In other words,
I can
they
cast
like disfigured people.
spells.
Ooh.
you do have a wonderful outfit being built by Mr. Finnear, don't you?
I do.
Oh, you're using some of Finney's work. He is quite good. In fact, he just recently did all of our new uniforms. We picked them up today, and thank goodness they made it through. We only lost a chance day and a couple glasses because they kept their eyes on my girls instead of their hands on themselves. Though they might have found some hands on themselves a little bit later this evening.
Oh my lord.
It's gonna take Sano a minute to understand what was just said.
It's like, oh no.
She is immediately concerned.
Honey, if they can't touch the merchandise, they can only touch their own pole arms. That's how that works now, don't you know?
Anyways.
Hmm.
This far does not seem like polite conversation.
At the end of a long day, sweetie, there's not a lot of polite left in conversation.
That's fair.
But if we can get a taste of how well your bard can perform, then
It's a rough crowd, correct?
they tend to be a little bit on the
With strong men?
rowdy side. Well, they like to think they're strong anyway.
I can arm wrestle
Okay.
people.
I could do that.
Do what?
Arm wrestle.
Oh, thank God.
I think we might have the forming of a plan here. Give me a quick diplomacy.
Who?
Whichever you think will be the most effective.
I think we rolled about the same. What's my diplomacy at?
15.
Actually, 15.
Nice.
I think I might have a formulation of a plan if you lovely gals are willing to chip in for it. Now, I have seen the rippling cord and muscle from underneath those armor plates that you've got going there as you've been shifting around, making sure that your back has been stretched out from, I hope, not a terribly long tunnel underneath my establishment. If you can repair a wonderful table that we have down there and scrap and turn it into something that could be displayed well as a test of strength against your... Oh, yes, you're that adventurer from a few days ago who was making a big show about nearly breaking a couple of my people's arms. Oh, I think we've got a good plan going on here, honey. If you can show off some of that arm wrestling strength while the lovely gnomish woman here can dazzle and bring in a few of those stragglers from the other parts of town while your lovely bard happens to be strumming on his lyre, so to speak, playing a little bit of curious music and bringing them in.
Part-time jobs.
I think so. I think we just did that.
We could turn around the impression of our establishment from a rough and tumble situation into something a little bit more curious and entertaining.
I would like to state for the record that he challenged me,
Well, it doesn't matter who challenges as long as they win now, don't it, honey?
I suppose.
And if y'all are willing to agree to that and we can get this brought together in a relatively short order, I'd be more than happy to go ahead and tell you about Vaz Lorraine's interesting developments.
Miss Lorraine.
Do we have a deal?
Yes.
Excellent. Now, it is getting late. How long do you think you need to be able to prepare such a interesting event as I proposed?
Let me sleep on it.
An evening then?
Yeah.
That sounds appropriate.
All right, me and my girls are going to go ahead and clean up. Where y'all staying tonight?
Oh, we're over at the Wizard's Grace.
Oh, that establishment. Ugh, she's such a tart, but her place is bigger. Fine, I'd rather be able to put y'all up for the evening. That's fine. We make do with what we can. Now, I can at least offer y'all a drink in addition to the coin that y'all provided today. Would y'all like something before you go?
Do you have a wine?
Let me see what I have going on back now.
Of course, she wants a wine.
What's that supposed to mean, huh?
Oh, nothing.
You want to pick a fight?
Are you already that drunk?
No, not at all.
I do have one, and I've been holding it for an interesting occasion. I think a start of a business venture is interesting enough, don't you think, Miss Stainer?
But of course.
Excellent. And she pulls out an elegant vintage from the back. You realize that this vintage is probably a solid 25 years in age.
Stano's impressed.
Stano is impressed, and Shay did a small happy dance at the same time. Here, let us head out and share this wonderful vintage with everyone.
How many meads is Deimos into at this point?
Oh, just the one.
Roll a d20.
That's too many.
D12?
I think a D4. It hasn't been that long. 1.
So y'all get out. The girls are still kind of fawning around, and
Deimos is flirting.
Is Deimos recounting stories of his bravery, how he talked a skeleton head?
Oh, of course.
telling wonderful stories. Now, this is a wonderful example. Mr. Deimos, is it?
Yes.
Now, your companions here happen to say that you happen to be a bard of wonderful accomplishment, one that can play for a continuous 36 hours straight and remain highly entertaining. Do you happen to have this lyre on your person?
Oh, yeah, it's in my bag. He's gonna, yank it out.
That truly is a tiny, shiny harp.
A tiny hop is a different instrument.
Still looks a bit like a tiny hut, but I understand. I'll concede the point, Miss Stano. Tell me, can you strum a tune on that one there, Mr. Damos?
Yes, do I need to do a performance check for that?
You do need to do a performance check for that.
Oh,
Yeah.
this'll
It's
be
okay, I
fun.
have a +9 on it. I'll be great. 17.
So you begin plucking at the strings and going with a classic Andoran style tune. A mix of kind of like those smooth and then fast rhythms going back and forth. And every one of the girls who already had googly eyes at you is like melted at this point. And then as you keep varying up the rhythm, just this smile keeps spreading across Roxy's face. That is absolutely lovely, Damos.
Thank you.
You'll be a solid hit when you go ahead and provide the background accompaniment to Miss Stano nearly breaking the arms of some of my more rowdy compatriots. Hopefully not too many, just the ones who really need it. You'll know 'em when you see them, honey.
Is that what you guys were agreeing to in there?
Don't mind it.
I'm fine with it.
Where's Caslin gotten off to?
I don't know, I haven't seen him in a few minutes.
He's he kind of slowly strolls up to where I'm guessing y'all are at the bar since y'all just
I guess so, yeah.
I guess Demos is playing, and he just stands there next to Stano and kind of looks off into the crowd. Don't you think being a barmaid is a little below your station? And he walks off.
I'm starting to regret not hitting him again.
I mean, you could always do it now.
I'll save it.
After y'all complete having some of your drinks, Wimble is about 3 thimbles into some whiskey at this
Oh
point.
no!
Roxy is beckons y'all outside of the door. We're looking at about 2:30 in the morning at this point. Would y'all like to head back to the Wizard's Grace?
Yes.
Yes.
So y'all head down towards the Wizard's Grace. You are in the northern part of town. This is the more hardscrabble part of the town as a whole.
I've
But-
played some hard Scrabble games.
Hardscrabble.
My dad was an English teacher, so, like, I feel that.
The streets are quiet. As you're moving down, the only thing you can really hear are y'all's footsteps. Y'all can hear the rushing of the water as y'all cross over the creek itself, and you come up to the Wizard's Grace. The lights are out. Caslin's window is still open. You'll want to try going in through the front door, or just kind of get up and finally bed down.
Stano's gonna go in through the front door.
Yeah, we're not really
I
hiding
mean, like-
anything.
Everyone give me a perception check.
I don't like that.
Oh, God.
I don't see shit.
22.
11.
What the fuck is my perception? Oh, there it is. 13.
So, Damos and Luna.
What?
And the dog.
Luna's ears peek up, and she begins doing a little puppy. Just as like a... And Demos hears what sounds like a wolf howl in the broad distance as y'all enter into the tavern.
Hmm.
Aw,
Of the Wizard's
Luna's
Grace.
calling out to Greaves.
So y'all make it in. You have a poor, bleary-eyed youngling watching the front at this point. The fire's low. Y'all's rooms are fine upstairs.
Is there an
We're
extra?
glad to have you back.
Is there an extra room available?
Maybe. Let me check the books right quick.
Okay.
Taffy's gonna shuffle up to her bedroom, strip off her robes, put on her PJs, and plop into bed with Luna and Wimble.
Yeah, it looks like we have one more room. It's not our best one though. A bed is worth at least something. Oh, wow, that's some nice armor too. Okay. Follow me this way. Yes, the common room. Wonderful. I'll catch y'all in the morning. As Alec follows the young lad.
What?
Chris's voice kind of got a bit odd there. He sounds like a Muppet character.
Jules just is
I
crying.
can't help it. It was really funny.
I do my best to sound like various shades of Kermit the Frog.
Frog here.
It ain't easy being green.
Stato's actually going to wait for the child to come back and see if there's like a bath or something.
So the young one takes Alec off, comes back after about 5 minutes or so. You ask about the bath. It's like, well, it's probably cold at the moment.
That's perfectly fine. I've taken colder.
It should be out back in the covered yard area where they normally are. Would you like me to take you there, my lady?
Yes, thank you.
Maybe we'll get to try my mistress's new invention she's been working on. She's been trying to get heat runes to make it hotter faster. She tries on things in her spare time.
Interesting.
Yeah, she's actually an oddly accomplished wizard, but she always keeps it on the down low. I think she's embarrassed by it. I think it's the name of the place.
Possibly.
So he takes you kind of around to the back. Yeah, I'm kind of her apprentice, I think. I haven't been officially made her apprentice yet, but one of these days I'll be able to figure out finally how to get all of the symbols right, and I'll be able to cast my first cantrip. I bet it'll be awesome.
I'm sure you have many talents.
And he just keeps jabbering on the entire time. But you get to the area where you've got the little cubbies to be able to set your stuff. Here you go, my lady. If you need anything, I'll be at the front desk for you.
Thank you. She's going to tip him a silver.
Thank you, my lady. And he immediately rushes out. And it's good you did that, or otherwise he would have been needing to make a perception check to see whether or not he saw what was under that armor.
What?
This is why you always take your staff.
Little shit.
You're able to take your bath. It is definitely cold. But y'all are able to get your rest for the day.
Kazlin's gonna walk up to the hearth in the common room where I guess Alec is. And he's going to stare into the flame. He's gonna sort of lean up on the mantle, stare into the fire, and then pull out a piece of folded parchment from his pocket. Gonna unfold it and read the contents deliberately, but also like kind of casually, like several times, and then just fold it back up and put it in his pocket and go back into his room. As
you are folding it up, Alec is finally down to his the undergarments from the armor, not quite the small clothes, but the basic tunic. And he pays a quick bit of attention as he's finishing bundling up his armor before heading down to rest. Master Kazlin, what has you down at this point? I thought you had a room, sir.
Oh, I do. I'm just headed there now.
If I may ask, what were you reading?
Oh, it's just something from my past.
Alec takes his ring on a finger and spins it. We all have things from our past. Is there anything you need to share, sir?
Let's just say the ties that connect us to our history aren't always as durable as you would think.
Deep, sir. Then I wish you the best of rest. We have earned it.
He walks into the door and closes it really hard. Not like on purpose, just like he doesn't really... Kind of like he doesn't care that everybody else is probably trying to sleep. Just like...
How rude.
Yeah.
Does Deimos want to do anything before he curls up?
No, he probably went up to the room that he had been sharing with Stano. I don't know if she's going to try to kick him out.
Are you going to also attempt to lie down in the bed in the middle as you did last time?
No, he's going to be nice about it.
Mm-hmm.
Lay exactly where he's supposed to flip in me.
On the floor.
A little more no means no this time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So do you actually make a pallet on the floor?
What? No. No, on one side of the bed.
Oh.
Y'all awful.
At this point, Stano has finished her bath. It's a little chilly. There's a bit of crispness to the air.
Christmas in the air?
Oh.
Is it beginning to feel a lot like Christmas?
It's the kind of the later edge of summer where it kind of flirts with a cool breeze periodically.
Favorite time of the year.
And you get your garments back on. Do you want to put your full armor on? Or
No, she's not going to put that back on.
Are you already putting your hair up in this case?
She's going to braid it.
So you do a quick wet braid and then head up. And as you enter into your room, you find Deimos on the window side of the bed, curled up. A light snoozing happening at this point. He is dry this time.
She's going to roll her eyes. She's going to set her armor down. And she's going to take an extra blanket and basically build a barrier. And then she's going to lay down. She is too tired to deal with this bullshit. Do I need a craft check for that blanket barrier?
No, that's a pretty simple one to bring together in that case. Very as close as you can get to propriety as you can in the present situation.
It's not like any other nobles are going to walk in and see this.
In comes Wimble. No.
Wimble's not a noble.
You don't know.
Is he a noble in the other realm?
Maybe.
That would be hilarious.
Is he going to go whisper it to all the other Chelish nobles?
He's not. He's just a fairy.
So, 8 hours later, y'all wake up early in the morning. Your spells are replenished. Y'all have each gotten your level plus your constitution back in HP for anyone who is down. You'll have an opportunity to prepare all of your spells. It is now the morning. Y'all can get together, get your breakfast. Do y'all want to handle what's going on with Roxie Denn immediately? Or is there something that y'all need to take care of first?
I need to go to a certain store.
How many days have we actually been, like, away from the town?
I believe y'all have been gone 2 full days.
Okay.
How long did he say it was going to take my robes to be
we can go
made?
get the leads.
The expectation for the full completion of your order was about 2 days.
Alright.
Excuse me, was your 2 days into, I believe he quoted you a week at that point, so some of your order may be complete. But some of that was also some basic mending too.
Well, anything's better than
What the fuck did my
a raggedy dress.
So Taffy's wanting to go visit Crimson Wood Firs, and who wants to go visit Crink Twiddleton?
I have to, because I bought all those leads. And I need to get, like, some bullets or something.
What was the name? I've lost my player's guide. It's somewhere. What was the name of the shop where Stano dropped off her letters?
That is the Wainwright. Vusker's Carts and Wheels.
That's the one.
And Caslin, is there a spot that you'd like to go ahead and stop?
He wants to stop by an armory.
So the best spot for that would actually be at Quarters and Bits. So you want to go with Damos to Quarters and Bits?
Sure.
Excellent. Let's go ahead and start with Crimson Wooden Furs. So Taffy enters into the shop. The bell rings. You can see that there's an apprentice who's minding the front part of the shop, and the others this early in the morning are hard at work into the back. Anything I can help you out with?
I'm here to collect a couple of orders that I put in.
Sure, what's the name under?
Tafaxio Daxi.
Ah, Mr. Daxi, let me go ahead and go grab Master and we will see if everything's ready. So he hops up. You notice that he's still a fairly young lad, so he gets up. When he gets down from the spot, he is now suddenly much shorter, just like a head and a half above the countertop, moves towards the back. And then you see Winthrop come up. Ah, Mr. Daxi.
Hello.
It is a bit early for all of your order, or are you just wanting to do a status check today?
Status check and potentially pick up part of it if part of it's done.
Well, we do have some of the basic mending done, but I was hoping to be able to do a little bit more of a durability increase into that. But we do have your original damaged outfit possibly ready to go. Are you wearing the peasant's outfit that you had before?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my lord, is that the atrocious thing someone has given you? That is
Yes.
abysmal. We must take care of this.
Do you by chance have anything on hand just pre-made?
Give me about 15 minutes. Come here. I have your... Come to our dressing room. We'll have something ready for you momentarily.
Okay.
And you are re-outfitted with a set of traveler's clothes. So you now have
Nice
a
traveler's clothes.
Not as nice as what you originally paid for, but you no longer look like you are a small peasant child with a bunch of stuff.
Okay, and he said he was updating the durability of my old clothes.
Yes, my lady. You seem to get stabbed in the midsection often.
I do indeed.
That seems to be a bit hazardous.
I'm working on it. It's taking steps.
Please do avoid it. Once we are fully complete with your dress, I'd hate to... Well, I'd love to be able to perform your mending any time that you deem necessary, but it would be a shame to have to perform stitching where we weren't intending.
Did I give you the wings?
Wings, madam. Did you have something interesting?
She digs in her pack and pulls out the imp wings from when they met Alec. Are they gross?
They're not in the best state, but it's only been a couple days, and you did the cleaning of them relatively well beforehand.
I was hoping.
He looks at him. Demonic leather? Not quite leather. Skin?
Yeah, I was kind of hoping you could do.
Ah, not demonic. Infernal.
Yeah, I was hoping to get like something kind of out there, like a holster, or not a holster. Well, a holster would work, but like something I could have the wings as like a decorative item.
Do you want me to play around with it, madame?
Yes, please.
It will take me a bit longer to take care of, especially to make sure that we have something properly functional. Do you need them to move?
That would be awesome.
It'll take a bit of creativity to do so, and it will take a bit longer than your standard order, but...
As long as it doesn't interfere with my order, I'm okay with that.
Let me see what I have with this, because we got to make sure that this is properly salvaged so that we don't lose any of the precious pieces, especially considering the coloration you have here. We don't want any of this to degrade. It will take some gold, madam.
But how much are we talking?
I'm going to have to invent a new apparatus for this one. But we can cover at least salvaging and properly turning this material into leather for you beforehand. Afterwards, I'll be able to get you a quote for that. It'll take a few days. I'll let you know after your full order has been completed.
Okay.
Excellent. You're looking much better. What do you want me to do with these ratty clothes here? You have put them through their time, and they weren't in great shape to begin with.
I've got an idea for those. I have somebody to give them back to.
Excellent, madame. I shall return these to you to suite. So, Taffy, you get the clothes back that are there. Is there anything you wanted to do immediately afterwards?
I guess I'll go reconvene with everybody else.
Reconnoiter at the Wizard's Grace?
Well, they said they were going to what's-his-foot shop.
Oh, so you're going to head over to Quarters and Bits afterwards?
Yeah.
Alright. Let's go ahead and move over to Stano, who is heading up to Vusker's Carts and Wheels. So as you're heading up, you realize that you have to pass Lamont's Lament. You even pass the Pickle Deer on the way, fully closed down now that it is the morning. This part of town generally pretty silent as you head up to the northern end of town with the primary road heading out to where the Wainwrights are at. What would you like to do while you're at the Wainwrights?
She is going basically to drop off another letter. First, though, while she's in the building, she's going to take out from her personal bag, she's going to take out a signet ring and press it into the letter. And she's going to get a hold of somebody there at the store to check on her other letters.
Okay, dope. So you hit up. The storefront is very, very basic. Just a small entry area. Most of the space is dedicated towards a shop area, so to speak. Howdy, man. What can I do for you today?
I sent out 2 letters to a Gorian. I'm assuming I haven't had any reply under the name of Omdamal, correct?
I don't believe we received anything yet. The mail person ain't going to be in here for probably 3-4 days, so to speak. Takes a little bit of time to get it down there towards the river.
Of course. I would like to drop off this letter as well. I meant to send it originally. This one should not go to Agorian. This one should go to Westpool.
Very well, ma'am. I think that'll still probably be about 3-4 days till it's able to head out.
That's perfectly fine. I should also be expecting a letter from Nidal. So that one is terribly important. If you do receive that, please send somebody directly over to me at the Wizard's Grace.
Excellent, will do, ma'am. That's not going to be, it is coming from Nidal. It's not going to jump out and bite me, is it?
No, not at all. It's just a standard letter, I swear.
If it comes wrapped in black ink, we may have to send for you personally. I'm not sure if we're going to want to touch that one.
That's perfectly fine. It shouldn't, but it's perfectly fine.
Excellent, madam. We'll make sure to reach out for a Miss Omdamal down at the Wizard's Grace here as soon as we receive anything ready for you.
Thank you. And she is going to give him a silver for the delivery of that letter.
He takes it, brings it down into the till. Thank you kindly, ma'am. If there's anything else that we can do over here down here at Fusca's Carts and Wheels, we'll be happy to take care of all your transportation and mail needs whenever you have need.
Thank you. And she's gonna leave. She knows everybody else is at Quarters and Bits. She's not going into that store.
Dude, why didn't you use the wheels and deals? It's not time to use the wheels and deals, Bob. That is when you have someone coming in with carts. That's because the carts have wheels, and that's when you give them deals. And they just...
Oh my god.
So, Caslin and Damos are heading down to Quarters and Bits. And what is Caslin looking for over at the Quarters side?
He wants to replace his hatchet for another short sword.
Okay, doke. And Damos is looking to, at the Bits side, to pick up their order for the
Yes.
collar system. All right. So, you go in, and you can immediately tell Damos that Crink Twiddleton is not yet in the office. He is... But you do see that a couple of the clerks that you remember from the other day are there. And as soon as the door opens and they see you, they kind of go pale for a moment, and then they blush as they realize, oh, good, she's not here. Oh, we have your order ready for you. It's right here, ready to go.
Awesome. He's going to come over and get that. I'm also looking for, like, what would be the word in this world? Like the ball-bearing bullet things.
Sling bullets.
Ah, we have those over there on the corner side. We have quite a few sling bullets ready to go for you.
All right,
In fact, we have a whole cart full of them. And you see that there's this, basically this rolling apparatus where there's just this giant pile of sling bullets. They're not quite round as ball bearings, but they're just that perfect size that fit into a sling and just...
Of course, the halfling has a whole cart of sling bullets.
Never know when you're going to need them.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the clerks comes over for you, Caslin. And what can we do for you today?
I want to trade this for one of these. And he,
Have you tested the weight of it yet? Does it feel good in your hand? If we're going to make sure you're picking up a sword, it's got to be just the perfect one for you.
Well, that's why I'm here, right? So you can help me.
Exactly. Let's see. There's not going to be too much we've done with could do with the hatchet. It looks like it's a bit rough for wear. How many things have you been hitting with this? You ain't been hitting wood with it, that's for sure.
Well, that's true. But flesh is a lot softer than wood, no?
When was the last time you sharpened this thing? Have you been cleaving through flesh with a dull blade? Did you hack
It
through
hits
bone
just
with
the
this?
same.
It does not hit the same. How dare you?
It does for me.
Is that...
You're not even here.
That's why I didn't say it in Stano's voice.
Give me a diplomacy check.
Straight D20. 6.
I think we can probably offer you... Takes a look at it up and down. The best we can probably do for this one is probably about a silver for you.
And how much would a short sword be?
Now, are you wanting any special engraving on this one? You want to go ahead and make sure it's personalized and ready to go for you? Do you want something that happens to go ahead and go with your tri-corner setup? We can do something special for the god for you.
Well, just...
You don't have to have one just right off the rack. Here at Quarters and Bits, we'll go ahead and make something as custom motor for you as possible.
I thought you said Crink Twiddleton wasn't in yet.
It's his trainee.
God damn it.
He trains his people well.
Does it make it better in combat?
Sometimes if you want to dazzle or surprise your foe, being able to have an appropriate match with what you're doing can do wonders.
I don't really know what that means.
Is Stano over there yet?
No, Taffy is not yet caught up.
Okay.
Stano or Taffy?
Neither one is caught up yet. I think if you want one just this, which we do some fine, we can make sure we get everything nice and sharp and ready to go so that the next time you have to... He looks back at the axe. Hack through steel, we can... that it will be fine and ready to go for you. We can do that for you for 10 silver.
10 silver.
Mm-hmm. It's a whole gold, dude.
Fine steel requires fine coin.
Well, this one really makes it feel like I can just connect a lot better. It feels like almost like if I were to roll a die, it would be like +1 to that die roll. What can you do with
weird.
this that would make it feel a lot like this?
So you're wanting to see if there's a something that they could alter to your hatchet.
To the
new great sword.
To the new short sword.
Ah,
to the new short sword.
well, if you went ahead and
Yeah.
talked to someone like maybe Vaz or maybe the proprietor of the Wizard's Grace, they might be able to transfer that rune over between the two. A little bit of graving, and you might be able to get all of the power split between the two. But we haven't heard from Vaz in a while.
Do we have doubling rings?
We
Oh
do.
yeah, I do.
You do, yeah.
do.
That transfers that over to the other one.
I know.
Okay.
But I don't want to like downgrade so much as like upgrade a little.
Well, it wouldn't downgrade it. It makes it so that it applies to both.
I know, but I mean like as far as hatchet to short sword, there's not really much of a reason other than I'm getting finesse. So
Gotcha.
yeah, just I want the sword. Just give me the sword.
That'll be 1 gold or 10 silver. For another silver, we'll put some special etching on there for you if you'd like. You want it to say anything specific? Maybe a curse for your enemies or a praise to your god?
We're not there, so.
Yeah. Otherwise, Stano would tell you you're getting ripped off.
Make it say, mother.
What?
Where would you like it engraved on it?
Right on the sharp pointy bit.
We can get it added to the blood groove if you'd like.
I don't know what that is, but that sounds cool.
It's that divot in a sword where...
Okay, cool.
Excellent. Give us about 20 minutes. We'll have that ready for you.
Wow, 20 minutes. You got it good.
Takes it to back. Is there a language you wanted that in?
Common.
Taldane, we'll get it in Taldane for you right here, right quick.
I think Corvosa has their own language, don't they? Corvosan?
Versian, yeah.
Oh, it's Versian.
So he takes the sword you've got that you've handed to him, takes it to the back. We need this engraved in Taldane! Get it done in Taldane fast! It needs to say mother! He didn't say how he wanted it up or down or left or right, just write mother on there. Make it look good. Yes, he's paying for it, make it look good! So at about the time Taffy opens the door, Demos has their lead set in hand, the hollering is done. Y'all hear a grinder start winding up a little bit. Not a mechanical sound, but someone's really hitting up on a pedal, and you hear the shh as the stone and the metal go against each other as they're finishing up the blade to take it from display quality to battle readiness that's there. And that's about the point that Taffy comes in.
Hey, Taffy. Guess what? I got the pink lead.
Yeah! She grabs it and puts it on Luna. I know it's a little weird, but it's cute. You look adorable, and it makes it so that you're a little safer. I love your little face.
Give me your handle animal check for the day. Sid does a little I rolled really well dance.
That's nature.
Yes.
24.
So Luna gets the collar on, you get the lead, and she kind of does the little
I thought it was
walk
like
around.
a harness.
It's a lead harness set.
Yep. And so with it hooked, she then sits, looks up directly at you, big puppy eyes. And she looks like she's ready to go. And then just as Kazlin's new short sword, sharp, engraved with mother written horizontal along the blood groove, it's got little daggers at the ends of the M and then at the end of the R, so it looks like the blood is coming down from the point of one through the blood groove and a cursive down all the way to the other. Relatively quick work as a divot that's in there. And then Stano comes in, you hear the bell go, and then every single eye turns and looks at Stano. And then they all really go white, and everyone immediately turns back to what they're doing as quickly as possible. And the poor clerk at the front goes, "Hello, ma'am. Is there anything we can do for you today?"
Kazlin, you got your discount on that, correct? The adventurer's discount? He received that. Of course.
"Oh, we didn't have it as Kazlin. It was written down as bread. In fact, it said a little rye."
Master Bread is receiving his discount, correct?
He totally is receiving his discount.
Of course.
That means, 2 silver and 5 copper. Do your addition and subtraction properly. Yeah, we've been working on your multiplication tables. Yeah, and here he goes. Here's your change, sir. He hands you back 2 silver and 5 copper.
Deimos going to prance over to her and just drop the other lead set in her hands, like, hey, got him.
Taffy's
Wonderful.
gonna go around, to the cheese and meat area where bread was last time. She's gonna pick up a cheese wheel, pick up a thing of sausage, bring them up to the counter. I want these!
Excellent. See, the price we have marked on those looks like 5 silver apiece. So that means for
3 silver apiece, right?
give me a diplomacy.
Okay, so that's 8, 9, so 16, 24.
Yeah, that sounds absolutely right. All right. Yeah, perfect.
And Stano's going to take out a weapon. She's going to pull out the silver morning star and go over to the quarter side of it. Is that where they
Yep.
do the... Yeah.
Yes,
Oh.
ma'am.
I'm looking to sell this.
Oh,
Oh, I should probably sell
excellent.
that mix.
So Taffy's then gonna hand over the big round of cheese to Bread and break off some of the sausage and then hand the rest to Bread.
We have a variety of objects we probably need to sell, right? I also have that silver mace. I don't need to be carting around a mace.
Yeah, you were bad with that.
I
think we
was.
have a couple halberds too, right?
Mm-hmm.
I needed that.
Oh, are you keeping all the halberds?
I'm keeping
Oh.
my halberd.
Oh, we had like 3.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
In
I
fact,
can't-
if everybody just wants to make a stack, I'll make a list real quick of all the weaponry that we're all just going to pull out.
yeah. That's actually probably the best way that we'll handle it. So you can bring all of it together. We will pull in the value of each of those,
I don't
and you can
remember what all we
resell
have though.
every item.
That's good, because I've been keeping track of it.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, you can resell each of the items at half of their value within the core rule book, unless of course you'd like to negotiate.
Full value.
You want to go for full value?
Oh,
okay.
shit.
They're very scared of Stano.
They are. This would be an intimidation.
Is it intimidate?
Well, normally it'd be a diplomacy. You
I'd like
said
to
they were very
assist.
scared.
Can I assist?
You can.
That's a 23.
Make that a 27.
We're scary people.
It has been a bit since we've had fine craftsmanship from the Citadel.
Of course it has.
I'm sure Crink will be very pleased to add this to our inventory.
Of course.
You're not going to beat us, are you?
Not at all.
Promise?
Absolutely.
I'm the one you have to worry about.
She is.
Oh my. So y'all will be able to sell those back for book value, and we'll calculate that
That's tits.
at the end of the station. At the end of the session.
Now, do give Mr. Twiddleton my best.
Always, my lady.
Of course.
Cousin's gonna go, wait! He pulls out his silver flail with 0 expression and just hands it to Stano.
That too.
Would you like me to sell this, or...
I think he wants you to take it, ma'am.
I think he's giving that to
Sell
you.
it!
Oh.
God fucking damn it.
Of course, Caslin.
And we'll be happy to take it.
Mm-hmm. I know you will.
Mark it in the book as high grade silver. It's the only way he'll accept it. Just write it down. We'll put it at the bottom of the stack. I don't think that's what he meant when he said do creative inventory. That doesn't matter. You saw what she was doing. You made very threatening hand gestures, Taffy.
Are they all halflings in this shop?
No, they are all just generally young. So these
Oh.
are their clerks are generally the apprentices. Some of the armors apprenticing. Some of them are for the general craft goods that you would be able to pick up around town.
I'd like to do something.
What
You're just gonna
you
snap?
want to detect magic?
I'm going to detect magic.
So of the area, you can find that there's at least a general example of most rune-etched items. So you see that there's there's one particular spot where you see there's a few what you would call wondrous items. Stuff like you can find like a bag of holding and a few other basic items. You see that there's a spot where they obviously have a set where there are runes ready to transcribe over to weapons that's there. So some ready-made stuff. But as far as most of the items on the walls and on display, they are mundane.
Oh, is this where Stan would go for, like, crafting stuff? For, like,
Yes.
fixing the table for Roxie?
It absolutely is.
Okay, she's gonna go look at that.
Oh, I need to know the prices for the projectiles.
So those are generally 1 silver is 10 bullets.
Okay.
They're not like
He's going to buy a whole horde of them.
caltrops, though, right? They're like
No,
Correct.
they're little bits that you put in a sling and then whip it around and throw it at stuff.
How do we know what? I guess it's in the book somewhere. What the quality or the attribute, like the silver, is worth?
It was
in
standard
the-
grade silver, so
Yeah, it's in the back, and so we'll convert that at the end of the session.
Okay.
yeah, I'll worry about that.
I'm gonna buy 20 arrows as well.
So that would be standard 2 silver, and
What
with
are
your discount, that would be 1 silver and 8 copper.
what are the balls that you throw on the ground?
Bouncy balls.
Those are ball bearings.
Ball bearings.
And for 1 silver, Demos, you can get 100 sling bullets,
Is that enough?
and that will be 1 bulk's worth.
Okay.
In
That
fact,
was-
they even go ahead and throw an additional 20 sling bullets in to cover your discount.
So is there a poor shop assistant assisting Stano as she does things?
This poor kid is behind you on your heel. His shoulders are a little hunched over. His elbows are in, and he is trying to do whatever you ask him to do.
Tell me, do
He
you know?
very much reminds you of a slightly tall halfling.
Yeah. Do you know what time the pickle deer opens?
My mama told me I'm not supposed to go there, but I hear about 11 a.m.
Thank you so much.
Pickle
Yes,
deer.
ma'am.
A deer made of pickles.
No, a
Ugh.
pickled ear. An ear that has been pickled.
An ear from a deer.
I swear to God. It's usually a pig ear. You can also pickle their tails.
There was this one time that a story went around town of about how Mr. Winthrop, he got a batch of really super spicy pickled ears.
Can I split those ball bearing or bullets with you? Sling bullets. I'll split the cost.
Sure.
And his lips were absolutely just swollen for like 2 days. It was absolutely hilarious. We called him duck lips.
Sling bullets.
Stano is actually going to very quietly chuckle at that.
My mom said he was quackers.
I love that.
So I suppose you could say that he really flew through those pickled ears.
Ducks do more than swim?
Yes, ducks can fly.
Huh, I always watch them swim. I've been in the shop for too long. And he gets almost 1,000-yard stare.
Stano's gonna pat him on the head.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, I'll take all of this to the front. She's getting things to build a nice table.
How nice of a table do you want to build?
Not quite a Gorian standard, but like pretty nice. And sturdy.
So not IKEA.
Not IKEA.
So after your discounts are applied, you're looking at least probably a gold's worth of proper material.
That's fine.
I could just cast mending.
No, Taffy, I would like to do quality work. Not just simple quick magic.
Burn.
That's
Give
not
me
a
an
burn.
Arcana
It
check,
was
Taffy.
It's probably a crappy table in the first place.
Oh wait, I can take assurance, but I rolled 13.
So you do know that if the quality of the table was poor to begin with, it only restores to its previous state. You can't mend something into a higher quality.
Was it okay?
You can prestidigitate it to slightly higher quality, but it's not going to look very good for very long.
I can prestidigitate anything I want, but I'm not doing that. In fact, once all my shopping's done, I'm going to go back to the Wizard's Grace and prestidigitate the dress to a better quality than what it was when I got it. So, like, you know.
That it looks just that little bit finer.
Yeah, like the
It
dye is a little bit stronger.
It
Not
doesn't
like-
look like you bled all in it.
Well, so I already mended the dress.
Yes.
So now I'm just making it so that it looks a little nicer than what I got it.
Excellent.
And I'm giving it back to the owner.
So how long does it take to get from town up to the Bramble Bashers?
So it's about a mile out of town. So when you're on a horse, you're probably looking at something close to about 5 minutes. When you're on foot, you can probably full get up. You're looking at about 10 minutes or so.
Are we all going back to the Wizard's Grace?
We can go back at the end of the day, but at the end of the day, our horses are up there and our dog.
Yes. So, basically, when we all get back, Stano's going. I'm going to head up to where the goblins are before we head over to the tavern, so that I can get our horses, as well as check on them and Greaves.
Yeah, I can come up.
I wasn't going to like stay at the tavern. I was just dropping off the dress and.
I want to stay in the tavern for the night.
Of course, we're going to come back. We're just going
That's
to.
what I
pick them
mean.
up.
I'll come with you.
Should we invite Sestagrim to come with us?
Do you want him to meet the Bramble Bashers?
Do you think this is a poor idea, Demos? You did share a drink with the man.
Okay, I don't think he's going to hurt them. But marginal concern about his line of thought. I mean, that's what the Order of the Nail is into, right? Like, tame in the wild or something? He might not be...
I roll a society check.
What did you get?
19, naturally. And then I have a bonus to society.
Does Caslin have an opinion?
About
Taking Alec to meet the Bramble Bashers?
So that's...
an
19.
extra sword is always welcome.
Yeah, it's 28.
The Order of the Nail, like all Hell Knight orders, follows the measure and the chain, and adheres very strictly to the lawful presence in applications. The Order of the Nail specializes in trying to bring civilized order to wild frontiers, very much settling and regimenting the people in those frontiers, as well as specializing in the slaying of monsters and anything that might threaten the civility of an area.
I'm 99% sure we read this on something in the castle.
Sounds like United States in the 1800s.
Ooh,
Crank it
Rob.
up to about 11.
And onward.
That's some native feels there. Anyway.
I believe it would be fine. After all, they're bringing into society. Warble herself is a recognized member of this town.
Fair.
That's true.
Yeah, we can grab him.
Where is Sir Stagrim?
He is chilling.
In the common room.
Does he just do nothing?
We leave him alone and he just sits there.
It's like
He
the
is an
episode of Parks and
NPC.
Rec with the senator or whatever, and he just sits in his office and he's a robot until
Oh,
somebody
man.
comes and gets him.
I have never watched Parks and
Oh
Rec.
no.
So Stagrim has been primarily resting. He moved from the common room to his own room, moved the majority of his material up there, and he has been kind of resting and recuperating, working on his writing in his own journal, making sure that he had his thoughts and set down.
Can I go get him?
Why do you want to go get him?
I don't know. Fun. Just kind of burst in the door. It's like, hey, we're going.
Sure.
So
I think startling would be fun.
Demos does his best Kramer impression and just through the door. Ah! Demos, how'd you know what room I had?
Reasons. Anyway,
Ah.
grab your stuff. We're going back up to the Citadel to say hi
Get
to...
in, bitch. We're going to kill some baddies.
We're not
No.
killing anyone, Taffy.
No, we have to go get our warg and our horses.
We'll probably end up killing something.
Yeah, we probably will.
Santa's gonna go up and go
They're
put her
just
armor on.
chit-chatting behind him, apparently. He's like, oh my god.
Oh, I will need a few moments here. Let me gather some things up. Demos, give me a perception check.
Okay.
Was he masturbating?
Oh no.
I'm going to give a button for this. That was bad, and I want to
Wow.
know what he's up to.
What was he doing?
That wasn't much better. I got an 11.
So, you
I want to imagine that I followed up behind you.
so you see him quickly close the notebook that he's working on after putting in a quick placement marker. As he's setting it down, you see that you caught him in a mild state of not quite full dress.
His
You
shirt
can-
tails aren't tucked in, you guys.
You can tell that there's apparently significant gluteus training in the Hell Knight Order.
What you're saying is he has a nice ass.
And he's in leather pants at this point because he wasn't expecting to be putting on his armor today.
Deimos is just
Boy,
going to
he's
stand there, close the door, and just stand there.
Inside the room or outside the room?
Just stand.
Caslin
inside
reaches
the room.
behind him.
You're standing
it's like-
inside
Stops the
the
door from being
room.
closed all the way. He's just gonna go.
Stranger danger.
Wait.
Stano has not
And then
fully left. It's like, what's going on? What are you two doing?
Nothing.
Oh, pardon, my lady. If we're leaving, I need to change. You can't wear armor and leather pants.
Why not?
I mean, we're not really fighting. You can just wear the leather pants up.
Yeah, you could just wear the leather pants.
Yeah, you could wear the other pants.
Just wear it, man. Just wear
Everybody
it, bro.
really likes his butt.
They're a good cut, man. They look really good, man. Dude, bro.
Stano does not know how to handle all of you.
Okay, sorry, I'll leave.
Taffy walks away. Like, he flounces away, really.
We most likely won't be fighting anything. It's just the goblins.
You should still probably wear armor.
Yeah, you never know.
I'm only going to get my sword.
You should still probably wear armor.
I would feel comfortable, especially if we're heading back north around the Citadel, even after clearing it out. The dangers of the wilds can be quite swift, my lady. Plus, as a Hell Knight, you're quite used to being able to strip and get into your armor quite quickly.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna walk away.
So, Demos, are you willing to assist me? We'll be able to make this go even faster.
Yeah, sure.
So glad I didn't finish actually taking
He's
that sip.
really into Deimos' soft hands, y'all.
Deimos is distracted by the pants.
Alright, give me a perception check one more time, Demos.
Oh my god.
For how nice his booty is?
distraction level.
18.
You are thoroughly distracted because as soon as that door closes, he is out of those pants, out of that shirt. He is paying no attention, and he directs you to be like, I need you to grab this piece of armor, I need for this one here, and you see him quickly move back and forth with military precision.
Okay.
Going back and forth, and there is
He
some
went
wangle
the
to the wobble,
full Monty.
Excellent.
and then he is back up. He's got his small clothes on. You're getting him to direct the armor, and he's in that full plate armor in a solid minute and a half with yours.
Jesus.
Do they wear underwear in Galarian?
Yeah, they'd have small clothes of a sort.
Well, like, did he change into his small clothes?
Yes.
Yes.
The
So there
small
was a
clothes were
brief
meant.
moment.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, he
Oh,
was
yeah.
saying there was wangle to his wongle.
Oh, I didn't catch the
Oh yeah,
wangle
there's
wongle
wangle to
part.
the
There is a
wobble.
dingle and a dangle.
Okay.
It's dingle dangle down.
And Deimos has seen everything.
Well, let's be honest. You've already patched him up multiple times, and considering that he's been nicked in different parts of the leg, in the soft spots where the armor's not covered,
Probably seen
all of the
plenty.
dangerous spots. Yeah, you had to practically do a feel up on almost every single one of y'all that has been injured to properly make sure that you've not been covered. It's one of the reasons why medicine checks take so long.
Deimos is a pervert.
Deimos has seen Taffy mostly naked.
He has.
He's seen everybody. Enjoy that. It's okay, he's not weird.
Yes,
Oh,
he is.
weird.
Yes, he
No,
is.
Pretty weird. Deimos
No,
is
he doesn't
extremely
act.
weird.
He doesn't act weird, TA. Y'all can.
He doesn't?
Okay, so
Sano doesn't count. He likes her. I mean, he likes everybody else on a friendly level, but he likes her.
So Staggerman is in his armor, quickly and ready to go. Will y'all be taking horses out that way?
Our horses are at the camp, Chris.
Y'all's horses are at the camp. Did y'all want to get new ones?
No.
no.
You could just get one horse and just everybody rides it.
No.
Brr. What was it? Careless Whisper again?
No.
Everybody petting each other's hair.
No. No. For Bowden.
All right. So when do y'all want to head towards the Bramble Bashers camp?
Immediately. So we can get it over with quickly and then get over to the Pickle Deer.
All right. So it's relatively early in the morning when y'all finish up y'all's business, and y'all have each had your breakfast. Y'all have taken care of your business. Likely we're looking close to around as early as 9, 10 in the morning. Not that many hours after sunset has occurred,
You sunrise.
or sunrise has occurred. And so y'all begin trudging up to Citadel All-Terrain. The Citadel, again, is up the northern road, takes you through the wooded area, higher up into the hills. The path is longer than the direct line that y'all were able to travel. You figured the direct line from the bottom of the Citadel all the way up to where the camp is done. You probably end up taking a little bit longer because it's not just that straight path.
I can't wait until I learn the ability to fly. That's gonna be a great spell.
So it is the wind, the sun is coming up. It hasn't hit its zenith. Y'all hear the general sounds of the forest. And as y'all are approaching, you only hear the hit of the gravel on your footsteps. You hear the winds, the sounds of the birds, and it seems oddly and eerily silent.
Shouldn't we be hearing the goblins by now?
We should.
And as you approach, the hillock is eerily silent from your last visit, and it was filled with the sounds of chattering goblins preparing for the evening meal. But from your vantage point now, you notice that your tents seem to have fallen over. The fire, which had been continuously going, has gone out, and that's when you spot the blood.